Georgia fans, they're not going to like when I say this, but I got to throw it in there. I got to. And I don't mean it as disrespect. It's not shade. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck. It's a serious thought I have. Georgia literally, and I mean literally, can't lose unless they play Alabama. It's crazy. It's one of the weirdest phenomenons in all college football. All right, there we go. Rare case and scenario where we're filming the reaction video for a top 10 matchup. Can't show you too much. Before the game's even over, let me show you again. Right after 2-minute warning, the Georgia Bulldogs and the Texas Longhorns. Whew. Let me shut the door. Oh, wait, I'm glad old Herb Street said that. Herb Street just said something about the Heisman. Let me turn this down a little bit. I tweeted this out. I'm tired. Oh, wait, I'm looking at his stats. Oh, yeah. I'm tired of the Gunner Stockton disrespect. I'm tired of it. I've been saying it the past couple of weeks. When are we going to start talking about him for the Heisman Trophy? Beats me. He has played just as good, if not better, than Ty Simpson. The entire season, not just in this game, the entire season. But people aren't talking about Gunner Stockton, and we know why. It's because Georgia lost to Alabama. Whichever quarterback would have came out on top in that game would be getting the Heisman love. Hence why Simpson's getting the Heisman love. But it ain't happening. Ty Simpson, you can kiss that Heisman goodbye, brother. It ain't happening. And that's really a different conversation for a different day. I'll make a separate video talking about that and whatnot. But some of my front runners, Mendoza, Julian Saying, Stockton, Simpson. I'd say that's the big four. And then after that, there's really nothing to pick from. Wow, 5 touchdowns tonight. 4 passing, 5 rushing. Shout out to Stockton as Georgia's actually going to punt it away here. 35-10. Read it and weep. 35-10. Now, I could act shocked by this. As they're showing. All right, don't get distracted. They're showing. Let me show you what they're showing, actually. They're talking about the SEC tiebreaker. And I'm not going to get into it. We're not going to get into it. We're here to talk about focus. We're here to talk about this game and this game only. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm shocked, fellas. I'm not. I did pick Georgia to win this game. I didn't think there was a shot in the dark that Arch Manning was going to go in here and walk out of here with a win. Even when they had the nice little touchdown drive, 14-10 in the second half, I was like, yeah, I just don't see it. And what did Georgia do? They go for, what about that? Kirby Smart, he letting the old kahunas hang. He had some big kahunas tonight. Reminded me of that onside kick. I'll get to that in just a second. But he went for it before that on 4th and 1 on his own 30? Huh? They didn't like Kirby Smart. He wound up doing it. And we can officially turn this all the way down because the game's over. They're shaking hands. They get that. Long story short, I think they converted another 4th down on that drive. They get a touchdown. They go up 21-10, but no biggie. Reminder, Arch Manning just led Texas down on a touchdown drive himself. So they're about to get the ball back, down 11 points. But just like the man, the myth, the legend, Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. Kirby Smart pulls out the onside kick. And the first thing I thought of was Alabama and Clemson in the national championship. If you know, you know. First thing I thought of. What year was that? 2016? Man, can you believe it? That was 9 years ago. Golly, getting old. First thing I thought of. Of course, it was a different circumstance because when Nick Saban did that onside kick, and it was also a national championship, it's because Bama's offense and Clemson's offense with Deshaun Watson was going score for score, and Saban's like, well, crap, I'm going to see if I can steal possession, which he did, and Alabama goes on to win the game. One of the best calls in national championship history you're ever going to see from a head coach. Not as risky to do it in this game, but he did it, and it worked out, and that's what won the game for him. Pretty much. 21-10. They get that, and you felt the momentum. I mean, you saw the special teams coach from Texas sitting there like, crap, he got me. And that's what happens in life. Sometimes you get got, other times you're doing the getting. Texas got. They were all flustered. Sarkisian was sitting there like, Yep. This one's probably over. Georgia ran the ball down. I mean, you got to think about it. Here's the cool thing about getting an onside kick like that. You just wore down the Texas defense. They're exhausted. So think about it. The Texas defense is like, finally we get a break. Oh, wow, they just got the onside kick. Oh, they got to get up all tired. Of course, Georgia's going to run the ball down their throat and score a touchdown. That's what they did. And once you go up 28-10, it's GG's, my boy. It's wraps from that point on. And wraps it was. Arch Manning in Texas, they're not built to come from behind, and they were struggling to move the ball anyways. Outside that one drive, it was nice. You know, all right, I'm kind of going back and forth with myself before I say it. I was about to say, I don't think Arch Manning looked bad. Like, I thought he looked good out there at times. I know he had the interception and he had some wild throws, but he was getting through his reads and progressions, and mechanics looked a little bit better. I thought Arch Manning was okay. I wanted the box score. It's probably not updated, but we'll see what he did. But outside of being a box score watcher, he passed the eye test for me. He's getting better. I used to say he sucks. I don't think he sucks anymore. Yeah, he was 27 for 43, 250 to the air, one touchdown, 119. Arch Manning wasn't bad. You got to throw in there. Texas had like 5 to 6 drops. They weren't helping out Arch Manning. Couldn't run the ball well. How many rushing yards they have? I'm not going to pull up any of the stats on the whiteboard. Yeah, they had 23 rushing yards. Go figure. You're not going to win when you have 23 rushing yards. It's just not going to happen. I don't want to say Georgia dominated in all facets of the game, but the game was never in doubt, if that makes sense. Georgia had 21 first downs. Texas had 15. Georgia, they only had 350 total yards. Texas had 275, so that was right there, 1A, 1B. One interception apiece. I remember Gunnar Stockton had that one. But outside of that, Stockton, he was flawless. They don't have the QBR stat updated yet. He only had 5 incompletions. He had 5 touchdowns and 5 incompletions. We got to clap it up to my boy. We got to clap it up to him. I was thinking about this too. If Georgia comes out firing, and we've talked about this, I've talked to it and brought up with Georgia fans, they've been a second half team all year long. If they come out here and show up in the first half, nobody can beat them. And they did that tonight. You knew they were going to show up in the second half. They show up in the first half. Not good news, as they're showing these standings in the SEC. Okay, interesting. Yeah, not good news for the Texas Longhorns. I know Georgia fans, they're not going to like when I say this, but I got to throw it in there. I got to. And I don't mean it as disrespect. It's not shade. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck. It's a serious thought I have. Georgia literally, and I mean literally, can't lose unless they play Alabama. It's crazy. It's one of the weirdest phenomenons in all of college football. Not this year, but the past 10, 15 years. Or I'd say more so 6, 7, 8 years, 9 years. With Kirby Smart. Golly, Georgia looks unbeatable unless they play Alabama. They play Alabama, you're like, huh? This team ain't even that good. Turning the ball over, struggling, penalty, you got, who was it? The guy jumping on, just uncharacteristic mistakes, mental mistakes. And then they go in here against Texas and beat the snot out of them. You're like, oh my gosh. Georgia looks like one of the best teams in the nation. But when they play Alabama, it's like they forget how to play football. It's crazy. I know Georgia fans don't want to hear that, but I think about it all the time. And Georgia fans tweet at me every single Saturday. They're like, how in the world during a Bama game? They're like, how in the world did we lose to this Alabama team? I'm scratching my head, wondering the same thing. I don't know how Alabama beat Georgia. Let me go back. I do know how, because Alabama has this whole mental thing about it. Like I said, it's a phenomenon. It's this weird thing. But outside of when they play Alabama, they can't be beat. And you're going to have some nerd, Matt, what about when they play Notre Dame? Shut up, nerd. Shut up, Timothy and Bobby. But yeah, I don't have too much more to say about this game. What am I missing? 14-3 at half. Not a lot to be said. Covered the Arch Manning. He had the good drive. I thought Arch Manning was okay tonight. Texas just is not that good of a football team, but that's not anything new. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give them a 6. Georgia's really good, so I don't want to beat down Texas too much. But we all know Texas, they don't have a shot. They may sneak into a playoff. They could beat A&M. Who knows? But they ain't going to compete for a championship. They're not built. Georgia is built for that. The better team won tonight. That's all there's to be said. More physical, better quarterback play, better head coach, better offense, better defense. It's just better everything. And that is how you get the final score of 35-10. Anything else we need to talk about? I know it's kind of a short recap, but not anything, when there's not like controversial plays, there's nothing to rant on or whatnot. So, yeah, we'll end it off here. Short, simple, and sweet. We got the BYU game going on. I'm going to release my top 12 on Twitter tonight, and we'll do that tomorrow on the channel. We also got the recap. I'm debating another Alabama video tonight. Let me know in the comment section if you want to see that. Many more things I'd say.